You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV Saturday Night Live After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's SNL After Show.
Yes, welcome, AFTERBUZZ TV. Bing presents A Cherry by Any Other Name. We are the SNL After Show for Saturday Night Live on May 19th. What, was it 19th? Yes, last night?
Is that what it is?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
it is.
yep.
19th.
Man.
The season finale of season 37. Mick Jagger was both host and musical guest. I am Mario Hernandez, back on board.
Welcome back, Mario.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, we miss you.
As with me, as always, and for the first time,
Lindsey, Kinard. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, and Graham High. Keeping
Graham
sky
Sky High.
high.
How
Yeah.
high?
Dude,
So high?
it's so high. Like,
You know what's high today? The temperature. It's
Yeah.
very warm here in Southern California.
California.
Yeah, it's, we got a lot of California connections with the show, which we will be highlighting. Very bittersweet show last night because, of course, it was the farewell for 3, even though a lot of the focus was on one of the players, but we're actually saying goodbye to 3 of Saturday Night Live's, I think, all-time favorite and most versatile performers.
Yeah,
and
they're up
that's,
there.
of course, Jason Sudeikis, Andy Samberg, and Kristen Wiig.
Legendary.
I know. We're very upset.
she's
with
like the
that.
valedictorian.
She really is. She's a little bit, and it's funny because you don't think of her as kind of one of the elder statesmen until you see her next to like a Vanessa Bayer or one of the the kind of younger crew, and you realize like, oh yeah, she's been on there for a while, and it's in entertainment now that's really kind of important. Even though I feel like back in the day, like Phil Hartman and all these guys, it was an older cast, but things are changing. So what were your guys' feelings on the? First of all, did you realize that this was the last hurrah for Kristen Wiig?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And I was happy to see a lot of her recurring things come back one last time and kind of laid to rest, and I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah, exactly. We've been kind of like looking at it for a little while. I feel like we've been kind of keeping an eye on the pulse of who's leaving, who's staying.
Yes.
And we've been loving Kristen Wiig from day one.
Sure.
So, it seems like everybody was having a great time. Yeah. And there's a little bit of nostalgia, the last hurrah kind of thing.
Yeah.
So everyone got to enjoy it. It wasn't, sometimes they have a tendency to just really enjoy themselves and not really let anybody in. This time, I think this is the first time I've actually been touched by Saturday Night Live.
Did you get a little
not molested, but like
not touchy molesty, but touchy
caressed,
good touchy, safe touchy.
Yeah,
good. Yeah, we're gonna be talking a little bit about Kristen Wiig, her work, past and present, and of course where she ranks in the pantheon of the all-time great Saturday Night Live performers. In addition to a whole bunch of other stuff, a bunch of finals. That we will get to, but first of all, let's actually go back to the host and musical guest. It was Mick Jagger. Now, it's not unprecedented for a host to be both, host and musical guest. I mean, I have the list here, but it goes all the way back to Paul Simon in 1976.
Yeah, Paul.
To Justin Timberlake, who I think is kind of the king of playing dual roles. He did it in 03, 06, 09. And pretty much anytime he wants, I feel like.
Yeah, it seems like it.
A lot of people think
it's like
he
break in
should be
case
added.
of emergency, like
right. Throw in a little Justin Timberlake, but
the kids love that guy.
Yeah, they started off strong. I mean, we were talking just now, Lindsey. What did you think of the opening of the cold open?
I loved it. I think this is one of my favorite and a lot of people's favorite sort of Kristen Wiig characters because it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird, but it's so funny, and the writing is always so good. Her strange little things and the way they play with those hands and the different kind of visual gags. And I think it was just a really cute way to close it, to kind of hook her up with John Hamm.
Yeah, her bridesmaid co-star.
Yeah, exactly. We can imagine that, little tiny hands Denise lives happily ever after with sexy John Hamm.
That's
in
right.
Italy.
And of course, we were talking about the Merrill sisters on the Lawrence Welk show, and they even get Fred Armisen. I feel like was the first joke where he says, the Finger Lakes. And they say if you only get one finger, you just got to relax. Maybe you'll get two in.
It is good advice, though. You need to put it out there.
I mean, it's the best advice for lots of things. I think not just visiting the Great Lakes. Finger Lakes.
Oh my! I just put it together.
Are you serious?
Fingers. No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm a dirty. I was like, "There's Finger Lakes."
You only got the dirty part.
Yeah,
You
that's
didn't
pretty
get
much
the
it, yeah.
clean part.
Finger Lakes, of course, in upstate New York. So and then we had Mick Jagger came out, who I thought. Here's the thing. Once again, we come back to this idea of good host versus bad host. Sometimes when you are not an actor or comedian, you can, it's not your thing. Mick Jagger is not an actor, even though he's certainly been in several TV shows, several movies over the years.
Does thing.
But he's performed in front of, I'd say, a lot of people in his 600-year career. The Rolling Stones performed in Copacabana Beach, which was, I think, over 1 million people. So he doesn't, he's not going to phase. And there was definitely a relaxed kind of vibe. I think he had like his hands in his pockets during his opening monologue.
He's chill, man.
He's just really,
he's cool.
Yeah, you're not going to rattle Mick Jagger.
I will say this, I like the Rolling Stones. They're I respect them, I love them. I haven't really given them the due respect, but after this, I really bumped up my respect for Mick Jagger, because you have Paul McCartney, and then Steven Tyler. They even kind of reference Steven Tyler, all these aging rock legends. But Mick Jagger is still actually cool.
Yes.
He's not like, oh yeah, you were cool back then, so you're cool. It's like, dude, I could hang with Mick Jagger and know I'll have a good time.
And if you ever see their concerts, even now, I mean, he jumps around the stage. I mean, his age is, completely irrelevant to him. I mean, he jumps around, he's running around.
Oh yeah, he wiggles.
He wiggles. He's still got the
totally.
The little
I don't know that
Mick
it's
Jagger.
as attractive as maybe it once was, but he
Right,
can still do it.
Yes.
Fun.
He can do it.
Well, you mentioned a few other, acts and these kind of aging rockers that sometimes, they just come out and they, stand there with the guitar or worse, kind of sit on a stool. This is more active. This is excitement, and there's something to be said for the performer that's really excited to be there, and you can't help but kind of rise to the occasion and say, oh, this is going to be a really good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to point out he danced way more than Usher or Rihanna.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. So-
Calling out Usher and Rihanna.
And
Yep.
he didn't tap his loins one time.
No,
That's
loin
right.
tap.
Yeah, he didn't touch himself, which is a signature little Stones move. And they kept referencing, of course, different Rolling Stones songs, and they mentioned Ron Wood, and I thought it was a very, very well put together episode. Of course, it's the one that people will be talking about because of Kristen Wiig's departure. But I think there were a lot of other elements.
You got to. I mean, you can't just phone that one in. It seems like that everything was in place there, so it made it like a classic episode in a way, where there wasn't anything you really had to overlook to make it okay.
Yeah.
So they could have really messed it up.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job of focusing enough on the host and Mick Jagger, but still somehow really giving Kristen and some of the others their due. Even a lot of the sketches that Mick Jagger was in, he wasn't always the focus. He kind of had his little moment, and it was funny, but then we got to kind of have our Kristen moment, or our,
He was kind of almost like the host of the Oscars in a way.
Yeah.
The MC where
Yes,
he facilitates.
of the farewell kind of event.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the charming guy. We're gonna have fun, but I'm not. This is not all about me.
Right.
I'm just here to kind of make sure everything goes well, and I kind of fold it all together. He did,
And he did it without, I think, calling attention to it. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh, this is going to be, or even, he may not have even referred to it as the season finale. I think it was just like, here we are. It's just kind of almost like a cool, we know why we're here. We all know what's in store. So here we go.
Yeah.
And then he jumped right in.
Can I ask this though? I mean, maybe this will get me in trouble. Did he ever change out of those pants Because when he first came out, I was like, those are tiny pants. I mean, he's a tiny dude.
Yes.
And all of his little photos and the commercial breaks and most of his scenes seem to be wearing those same tiny pair of jeans.
See, what I think happened is I think after many, many a rock and roll night, I think sometime either in the late 70s or early 80s, those pants just kind of crustified. It just stayed on him.
That's just
and
his skin.
He just hasn't, so they're his second skin now, and he hasn't removed them in like 30 some odd years.
He's basically just nude. He's pantless on television.
Yes. And the thing is, his pants have probably seen more action than all
Dude.
three of us will ever see
Oh my
combined.
God.
I mean, they've probably been left on more, bedroom floors than we will ever know. Hey, if you guys ever want to check out any of SNL, or if you're going to buy any DVDs of this or any of the other shows that we do here on AfterBuzz TV, and you like to shop at Amazon, because I know you do, and they got
You're a human, right?
Because you're a human and you have a finger and a brain.
And they've got everything.
And they've got everything. So before you do that, though, make sure you go to AfterBuzzTV.com, and then if you click the little Amazon banner at the top, we get a little,
Yeah, just
little
share the
kickback.
wealth.
Share the
little bit.
wealth with us, and
And we're not pulling out of your pocket.
no, you're gonna buy it anyway.
It's just an extra
So
click.
if you could just do that for us, and then we could start, switching over from that powdered stuff that we put in the coffee to like real milk.
We're giving away our secrets.
Okay, I'm just saying. White powders live in the AfterBuzz TV studio. So we had, like I said, we have a lot of goodbyes. When we say Jason Sudeikis, who may not, I think, inspire the kind of rabid fan base, but he's definitely been one of the most versatile performers. He's also one of the ones that's slowly making the transition to movies. So I assume he's going off to a movie career with, he made I guess Hall Pass and Horrible Bosses. But
he's been on TV a while too.
right, he's been on.
30
He
Rock
pops up on 30 Rock, and I assume he'll be back because he does Mitt Romney. So we have the election all the way through November.
It's a good call. Yeah.
He'll be back. Andy Samberg, I think, who has slowly been disengaging himself from the show. I think sometimes he was on only one or two sketches, and then the digital shorts kind of went AWOL for a while. And I know I missed the show where you guys, I assume, talked about the 100th. So the 101, as a nice little bookend for the digital shorts, was Lazy Sunday 2, which of course is the sequel to the original digital short in 2005. And
it was 2005.
Yes.
Oh man, I was wrong.
What did you say? What did you think?
I said it was 2006.
It's 2005.
Oh man.
As per Wikipedia.
Okay.
And who is never wrong. And and of course a lot of callbacks, a lot of similarities, a little more updated, right? We have
Dubstep.
Siri and dubstep. They are now working out. They're not really kind of they're older now. It was clearly the two guys were older. But what did you guys think overall of the digital shorts?
It went on like a verse too long. Like I feel even the audience, I was listening to them like, oh yeah, and then like the last verse, it's kind of like, okay. I mean, it's a callback. It's not like with a callback, you just kind of want to hit it and rock and roll. Yeah. And it was just a verse too long. It's not like even that extra verse was bad. Yeah. It was just nice. We're all kind of in that mode. We're enjoying it, but. It's like a senior graduation slideshow. Like you're like, oh, remember the times, and then you're sitting there. It's like, just give me my diploma. I'm ready to go. Like, okay, we're good.
I sat through a senior slideshow once where they did not. They had planned the song, which was I guess "Time of Your Life" by Green Day or whatever that song is.
Of course, it was.
And but they didn't have a backup song to it, so all the seniors, put in all their photos. The photos were like 20 minutes. The song is like 5 minutes. So we literally heard it on repeat like 6 or 7 times during the slideshow. So
that was your graduation song?
Not mine. No.
What was your
I'm much
graduation
older
song?
than that, my friend.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to age you.
This
then.
was a no. This was a senior that I
you were just attending. Okay.
that I snuck into.
Was crazy.
Graduation crasher.
Picking up some ladies.
I was just there for the free chocolate and Sprite. But yeah, that was quite. So if we're saying that it's the final digital short, of course that also means farewell to the rest of the Lonely Island guys, Akiva Schaffer and Jorma Taccone.
I always feel like they've had this weird, not uneasy alliance, but it was an alliance because they had that Lonely Island thing going on. And when they were brought on around 2005 was like in the wake of Will Ferrell leaving, a lot of the older, and they wanted to be a little bit more hip. And Lazy Sunday is something that put them back on the map. YouTube, like all that.
Right.
It merged internet with SNL, made it a little bit more hip. But they were always kind of their own thing.
Yes.
Andy was never a fully integrated cast member.
Though that's a really interesting point you bring up. Like, Kristen is the one that we think of as being like the one who SNL will miss the most, maybe, and that's kind of why she got such a send-off last night. But Andy and the other Lonely Island guys may have had a bigger impact on SNL overall with those digital shorts and getting them more an internet, younger fan base.
Well, definitely making it more iconic. You know, I
Yeah.
was thinking about that. We'll little foreshadow of our talk at the end of the show, which will be kind of, you know, where she is amongst the greats. While, yeah, I certainly think she's one of the best ever, and she's one of the strongest performers. I don't know if she's as iconic, you know, if we mimic them or if we see her characters, say, on Halloween. Whereas the Lonely Island guys, I mean, these guys are iconic. You know,
Yeah.
these guys are, you know, the penis in the box and I'll say dick in the box.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't. That's the first time I've ever not said it. I don't know why I shied away from that, but
There's
yeah,
a lady in the room.
that's
Yeah,
what it
that
was.
is it.
That's what it was. Sure. There's two and one in the booth.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think in terms of pop culture and its impact, you know, the Lonely Island guys. I mean, these are a lot of times when the shows were not so strong, people would still say, "Hey, did you see the latest digital short?"
Exactly.
Like to this day, Mother Lover, which is my all-time favorite digital short. Like I don't recall what episode that was with, and if I even saw the episode,
it's
you
just
know.
disengaged
But
from
that
the
one
entire
was
thing.
such a standalone. You know, they're like, you know, short films, and a lot of them are hit or miss. Some of them are silly, some of them are juvenile, whatever. But you're right. I mean, it was their attempt to kind of link in. And they definitely caught YouTube at just the right moment. He references that in Lazy Sunday too, and he says, "I'm still waiting on my YouTube check."
Yeah.
Because it was the first time that they uploaded. And there was actually, I don't know if you remember, there was controversy with NBC because they didn't want to. And I think that's what helped them spin off Hulu.
Exactly.
Because they were like, we want to control our content. We don't want it to be on this platform.
I remember right when YouTube, that's why I thought it was 2006, because I think that's right when it was really spinning.
Right.
And I know this is a big Chris and Wiig thing, but with Andy, YouTube is huge now. And I remember them talking about like, oh yeah, YouTube, you need to check it out. Like the Lazy Sunday is on YouTube. And that's what really brought people to YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
That's what really put it there. And I don't know, in a weird historical way, like Andy actually has a little bit of a historical, like that's the original thing.
Yeah.
He
that
could
really
end
brought
up in a
people.
history book somewhere. He could.
And
Well,
you
certainly
just
the
click on
SNL
it and watch
history.
Lazy Sunday.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. It's right at the nexus at the time that we were, you know, starting to self-distribute on the internet, and where anybody, and of course now everybody, you know, remixes and posts it on YouTube or whatever the file sharing sites are. Everybody makes their own short film and can upload it to YouTube, Vimeo, a bunch of other platforms.
God help us all.
Kickstarter. Yeah, I mean, it's starting to be. I mean, you can now shoot and edit and upload a movie on your phone, and that's not a big deal. So you're right. It caught a moment that until we see the next, you know, major platform, which will be, you know, some sort of like, you know, eye implants or something. It'll be like, you know, somebody will be beaming, you know, you'll get like a menu on the inside of your cornea that says, "Would you like to download the latest Lonely Island?" or whatever. And
We
you say,
laugh now.
AfterBuzz,
"We
get in
laugh.
on it.
It's happening. Yeah, AfterBuzz. If AfterBuzz wants to get into the corneal display business, I think now is definitely the time. So farewell digital shorts. I'm sure they will live on. I'm sure they will release. Although I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. I wonder if the Lonely Island guys kept the rights to their digital shorts or how that works.
I mean, Lauren's got to have a little bit of a finger in the pie.
Sure.
And they always do that kind of, you know, the best of kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Something else interesting about digital shorts is they didn't always have or involve the host, which not every sketch always does
Right.
either. But yeah, I just, when you mentioned Mother Lover not remembering what episode it's from, I don't even remember who the host was. Like,
Right.
you know, so it kind of brought more attention and acclaim to the cast members.
As well as being able to bring in outside
Right.
actors as well. Susan
Right.
Sarandon and
I love that mother.
yes, yes. Not Sandra Dean. The blonde lady.
The other one.
The other mother.
The other mother.
Your other mother. The brother with the other mother. Yeah, so just really great farewell. The kind of, again, that kind of bittersweet, like, aw. But at the same time, nice punctuations and nice bookends, nice symmetry to the to Lazy Sunday. A couple of other farewell characters that we saw, of course, Secret Word. We saw the return of Mindy Elise Raisin, I guess is her name, and And again, Mick Jagger being kind of the surprise. I think, you know, we will talk for a long time about Kristen Wiig and kind of the farewell episode, but Mick Jagger really acquitted himself quite well, also with the various American accents. Now, I mean, he's been in America longer than we have, so it's not surprising.
That just blew my mind. I didn't think about that.
Well, actually, somebody had a really nice tweet that said, am I tripping, or did Mick Jagger just say goodbye to Kristen Wiig? Like, you know, kind of like Mick Jagger is still going to be around. He's like cockroaches, you know, he's going to be around forever. And it's like, how many people's careers have come and gone in the time that Mick Jagger's still doing whatever he wants?
I've seen so many suns rise and set.
Yeah, exactly.
I say wake.
You know, Chevy Chase came and went, you know, in the last 30 years, which is the second half of Mick Jagger's, you know, career. It's just it's crazy. But that was I thought that was a lot of fun, and of course playing, and then also the kind of sub game of Mick Jagger playing this macho iconic Hollywood star who is clearly gay in real life. I love my favorite line.
Was he channeling Ian McKellen? Because to me, that's what it felt like. Because I remember Ian McKellen hosted SNL.
Yes.
Back when Lord of the Rings was big.
Yeah.
And that was when I realized how, like, kind of flamboyant he is. I mean, no judgment, but I mean, it's just like Gandalf, so like, you shall not pass. And then like, hey, you're watching Saturday Night. I'm like, whoa, Gandalf is, I mean, he cares about interior design.
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy. And I don't know, maybe it was the English accent. He's an older dude. But
Did you not know that he was gay?
I mean, that's
because he was fairly open by then.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a guy that didn't know him until I watched Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, he's cool. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well,
and gay.
It's not like I had a crisis afterwards. Like, okay, well, there it is. Okay,
Yeah.
I just didn't realize like he was such a fun guy.
Gay.
Gay.
Gay is the word you're looking for.
No,
in both
that's
senses of the word.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he danced around gaily. But for me, it reminded me of like an Ian McKellen kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like he could be that authoritative badass, but then real life, he's just.
Well, I think, of course, I don't think Rock Hudson was that swishy in real life, but I know it's you know, it was Rock Hudson, and some people say Cary Grant, you know, of that era, these kind of macho guys that were, you know, and they were, the giveaway was Spencer Tracy actually is another one that recently this guy wrote a book that said that he
Pretty much all actors are gay.
On,
I mean,
Spencer Tracy. Well, if you had to, yeah, right, yeah, the John Travolta, but allegedly, don't come after me, Scientologist. But this idea that back then it was controlled by the studios and the publicists and the studio heads, and he's like, I got married. My agent told me to say that. You know?
I'm deeply in love.
I'm deeply in love. My agent told me to say that. But I thought he was great, and of course, moving on to a clearly he's an expressly gay character, and that's Stefan on Weekend Update. So again, kind of highlighting this idea of a not greatest hits, but certainly highlights of Saturday Night Live, kind of bringing their best characters back. And while I didn't think it was one of his strongest moments, I think the game has been somewhat played out, like you know what's coming. Even though I did have a few laughs with some of kind of the more understated jokes that he did. He's a fun character, and and again, I go back to this idea that if you know New York, you know, there are parties that are like, you know, there's like a door, you know, there's a bar in New York where you have to go in through the phone booth of a hot dog restaurant. Yeah, you sit in the you get in the phone booth, and then the side door opens, and
that's too cool for me, man.
That's too cool.
I'll be like, I'm cool, but like, I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah.
What's on the other side of this phone booth? I did like the zip drives. I don't know why, but that made me laugh.
The zip drives.
I think it just shows how much of a nerd I am. It's like, I remember zip drives.
And some of our listeners might not even know what zip drives are.
Yeah.
That might be too old for even, you know,
it's
the late
somewhere
90s.
between like floppy disks and CD rewritables. You know, look it up.
There was something called a zip drive. Hey, if you're listening to us on iTunes, or if you like our show, just, you know, if you're listening to us live, make sure you go to iTunes and you rate and you comment us. Throw some comments on there. Let us know how we're doing, because we don't know.
Right now we just have one that dude says something like, I like it, but please learn the names. Something like that.
We've learned them.
Yeah.
We learned.
Yeah.
We took your advice, dude.
Yeah, and
We
it's
got it.
Lindsey, Graham, and Mario. Right?
Yeah, that's the only names we care about.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't specific
Maria.
about which name. And Maria, of course. Yeah. So make sure you tell your friends about it, because it's like it's a snap, and it really helps us out, and really kind of gets people excited, and especially people that might not know what this is about, and so they read the comments and they say, oh, okay, this is a recap show.
You know, today I've been posting on Facebook
I know.
about this like pretty often, and then one of my friends was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Dude, I've been." This is probably
where
the
you been?
16th time
Yeah.
I've posted. Like, I hate posting because I'm afraid, like, oh, again in the last episode, and like, hey, I'm not hating, but it's just like we've been doing this, put it out there, tell your
Since
friends.
last year.
Yeah,
We're now going years.
Yeah, we are in a whole nother year now.
Yeah.
So tell your friends, because I can't tell my friends.
So now we move in, of course, to the episodes that were kind of hit or miss, and I'd be curious to see which of the remaining episodes were some of you guys' favorites, or maybe something you didn't like. What jumped out at you from some of the remaining episodes? We have the karaoke. The Mick Jagger.
I think this was one of my favorites.
Okay.
I thought it was a great use of the host. Like, not only his performance in it was very funny, but of course just the whole game of the others doing like these terrible, hilarious Mick Jagger impressions right in front of him. Just really funny, really playful. And then, you were saying earlier, they didn't do what you expected, which was have him get up and do it.
And actually do Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
There's a great YouTube video of Jewel who went undercover. I think it's on Funny or Die, where Jewel went undercover at a karaoke bar with like an outing or pretended to be a part of an office party, and she had like no makeup and a wig, and they got her up there and she sang and she killed it, right, because she is Jewel, and everyone was just like, So that was where I thought they might have maybe have gotten their inspiration from it. And
there's that old story like Charlie Chaplin entered a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest.
Yeah, and didn't even place.
Yeah,
right?
something like that. But I mean, that's always great. And like the idea that you could do a terrible Mick Jagger impression in front of Mick Jagger and he just has to take it made me laugh so hard.
Yeah, and he was such a good sport.
Yeah.
It was great.
And they've been doing a lot of that. They had Nick Cage on there earlier this year. And,
oh my God, one of my favorite moments of this season.
Yeah, with
sure.
dueling Nick Cages.
Yeah, amazing.
Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro came on the Joe Pesci show one year. And then beat him up with foam bats. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I thought they played. And then of course Sad Jagger. Sad. I can't get no satisfaction. Here's one that's kind of we get into some of the kind of divisive ones because I know you're. The Californians. The second time we see this on SoapNet. I think I like it more than you guys do.
I like the idea. I'll put this with the secret word, where both of those like are serviceable for me. But for me, I feel like there's so many other skits they could have revisited. I guess they're more of the new kind.
Yeah.
But the Californians I like just as far as I kind of get some of the stuff.
Sure.
I just wish there was more there. That's my only complaint.
I like it. It's not like I live in California, I'm offended. It's more like there's so much more to make fun of out here. Then obviously we do all, talk about the roads and the traffic and I talk funny, I guess. I don't know. But I think there's a lot more to poke fun of, and they've just stuck with kind of these couple things.
It's almost dated too. It seems like 90s kind of stuff, other than the traffic kind of thing.
Yeah.
But.
Well, again, I think it's they're doing New Yorkers' perspectives of Californians. So it's like, what do they? We talk about the traffic. Everyone's beautiful. We look in the mirror all the time, and
yeah. Okay, we need
more mirrors in here, please.
At least there's some monitors.
Wardrobe. But and then of course the button. I did like the button because the kind of the second and third beats were kind of yeah. But I did like the button of an actual Californian who is of course Steve Martin coming in with his ponytail and the little what is that, soul patch.
I didn't even recognize him at first. I was like, who's that guy? Who's the old guy? That's Steve
Used
Martin.
to that
what?
white hair.
Which Steve Martin? What are you talking about? I mean, I know who Steve Martin is, but for some reason I just didn't recognize him.
And I thought for a moment that he might have a little bit something more to do because I know the thing is I watched them out of order, so I had seen the farewell sketch first, so I knew that he was around, and then for him to pop up in this cameo, I thought they were going to give him a little bit more to do, but I think they just kind of brought him in as a little
a little pop, little taste
promo pop.
There was a question that was never answered in the skit, and I would like to ask you guys. How do you get to the PCH from Wilshire? How'd you go, Lindsay?
Plug it into my GPS and do what it says.
That's the most modern answer I've heard.
That's a real California.
That's real. That's a good idea.
I had a buddy that moved here a couple years ago, and he refused to learn anything. Like, he would drive with his iPhone in his hand, just like kind of following wherever it told him to go. I was like, dude, just look around. Like, just learn.
That's kind of me.
Yeah?
Like, I probably couldn't get home from here, and I've come here a couple times now without my GPS.
See, that's the true California right there. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't talk about directions. We don't know how to get anywhere.
I
ask the
have
GPS.
actually asked people, hey, which way is it? And they're like, I don't know. It becomes, nobody knows.
Google, brah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Google it, brah, and find out where it is.
Google.com/maps.
And then one of the, in my opinion, one of the weaker episodes, although it has a very funny premise, but again, kind of making fun of something that's already true, and that's the Al Sharpton on MSNBC. I'm probably the only one who watches this because I think both of you guys have jobs. So I watch MSNBC, and I've seen Al Sharpton, and it's...
Is that what it... Do you have to know the joke to really appreciate it?
No, I think you get it, that Al Sharpton doesn't know diddly, and he's not a TV guy, even though he's certainly never been shy about sticking his face in front of a camera. But I think he's not schooled in the TV, world of trying to, you can see he does a very wooden kind of reading of the teleprompter and then sometimes he messes up because they'll say like let us. I mean let us. Kind of he does that.
They did one earlier this season, right?
Yes.
It seems like I enjoyed this one better than the last one. Maybe it was worked on a little bit, maybe it smoothed out, but yeah, overall I didn't hate it. I was just kind of like, yeah.
Great impression of Michael Bloomberg. Again, probably more of a New York thing, but just a great Fred Armisen is just great with the impressions.
Salmon canary. Salmon canary.
Salmon canary.
That was pretty fun.
So has it got feathers or?
Yeah.
One of the few pop-ups of Jason Sudeikis. Like that's like the only thing he did other than the dance, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did he do anything else? I can't. And he's gone, right?
Yeah, this is his last. I mean, he hasn't been renewed. I think he's the one actually with the most viable. I think kind of movie career. Certainly, he's the one he's being groomed. He's a good-looking guy, and he seems kind of more prototypical.
A hot girlfriend, a hot Hollywood girlfriend, right? Is he still with Olivia? What's her name?
Olivia Wilde. That's right.
Man,
Yes.
lucky SOB.
Yeah.
And Olivia Newton-John, by the way, was a both double host and musical guest in 1982. Speaking of Olivia's,
She got physical.
and special thanks to my intern who dug up all of the research for me. And then, the very bittersweet moment, the farewell send-off to Kristen Wiig, which was a bit of a musical kind of interlude. You get Arcade Fire and Mick Jagger to sing "She's a Rainbow" to you, and Ruby Tuesday to Kristen Wiig, who then got to dance and kind of spin around. It was literally right. It was a graduation sketch
For Tristan.
for Tristan, right? And about halfway, nope, the other Tristan.
Right.
They all did a little twirl with her, and they all did various things, and you could see Fred Armisen whisper "I love you," and then boom, that's where the waterworks
and then
began.
Seth came out, and Lauren came out.
Yes, Lorne Michaels came out, and then a couple of other former, Chris Kattan, Amy Poehler, Rachel Dratch. Rachel Dratch was there. John Hamm, Steve Martin, and
There's a good crew up there.
yeah. I'm sure they're still partying.
Done anything like that before? I mean, maybe they have.
The Amy
I mean,
Poehler send off
Okay.
was a bit of an all-star kind of thing. And we're going to talk a bit in a moment about where they rank on that. We had a couple of course. What did you guys think of the musical interludes? I know there was one that's really oddball.
Yeah,
right?
that crazy election song.
Yeah,
I loved
Tea
it.
Party. Did you?
Man, I'm in a blues mood right now.
Yeah.
That was some sick, like when there's blues guitar, that makes you
the
like
guitar, I'm
stinky.
It was just the lyrics. Some of them, like, what did he say? Something about Romney says his prayers, but don't let him near your hair. Is that what he said?
Oh, you know about the story? Like back in grade
apparently
school, like
not.
he and some other guys like held down an allegedly homosexual young man, and they cut his hair. And this is something that hit like a year or two ago, or a week or two ago, where he was kind of a bully. Like he was.
Yeah, they bullied one of their prep school classmates who eventually was gay at the time, but they didn't know that. But he was just a little different, and they shaved his head or cut his
So I
hair.
was just uninformed.
Yeah.
I thought that was the strangest thing. So Romney will mess up your hair.
Now that said, I wouldn't let him near my hair even if he had to bullet anybody.
He has
'cause
great hair though.
He's got creepy hair. He's got like kind of perfect hair helmet, John Edwards hair. That I just don't.
Only costs like $2,000.
Right. Yeah, exactly. See, his hair is worth more than my car. And I just don't. I don't trust that. A couple of other songs they played, of course, "The Last Time," which is apropos, with Arcade Fire. And by the way, that "Last Time" is the first British single that was written by Keith and Mick. And then a little medley of the 19th Nervous Breakdown, and It's Only Rock and Roll with the Foo Fighters. 19th Nervous Breakdown was actually recorded here in Hollywood in 1965. And then Tea Party with Jeff Beck, which was a nice little, which was, I think, my favorite part. I didn't care much for the song, but I thought it's Jeff Beck. He was the man.
That was some good, and that's some good guitar work. And I love the Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl. Like, it was good rock and roll.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't like all this new kind of trying to be dark and stuff. You know, it's that old classic Jagger kind of thing where, you know, we're going to raise some skirts, some hell, you know, paint the town red, but it's all in good fun kind of thing.
Party music.
Yeah.
Party music. So what have we got for, we've got some new.
Yeah, well, we got to talk about some GameFly.
What is that?
Oh, it's kind of like Netflix for video games. Yeah. I don't have it right now specifically, but I and my roommates have had it before.
And, share an account?
Yeah.
Which we don't encourage you to do. We encourage everyone to
yeah,
get their own individual.
We lived at the same place, so I mean, it's just like we would put in requests. But, you know, we got some good games coming out. I don't know if this helps GameFly, but like we got Grand Theft Auto, Assassin's Creed coming out. You don't have to buy them for $60. You could just do some GameFly.
And it's like Netflix, so like you play the game and then whenever you're done, return.
Yeah, you just
after you've defeated the game or whatever.
Yeah, or you just give up.
I'm not a big video game fan myself, but I am a fan of not like wasting money and just buying something that you're only going to use for, you know, a week or something.
Or racking up, you know, overdue. Not that you do this with video games, but you know, overdue fees or awkwardness if you borrow a friend's and then he's like, "Dude, where's my game?" And you're like, "Eh."
Or if you buy it and then you hate it.
Yes.
I don't know, that
does happen.
That happens.
Yes.
The cool thing about GameFly is that if you go to gamefly.com/AfterBuzzTV, all you fans out there can get a free 15-day trial.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah, so it's not like Netflix. Gamefly.com/AfterBuzzTV.
You could beat like a normal game, or you could get about halfway through the Elder Scrolls series or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
And if you don't get through half of it, I mean, you're not a man.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Come on. Let's give
But
or a lady.
You can take as long as you need to get through half of it.
Actually, you're right. Yeah. You're right. It's a little like lovemaking. Take your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to listen to your advice. Going to take more time with Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. Let it, romance it, stroke it, love it. So check it out. Gamefly.com/AfterBuzz. AfterBuzz TV or AfterBuzz?
AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. Don't miss any of those letters. Otherwise, you don't get your free 15-day trial subscription. So, again, Kristen Wiig, a sad moment, and we're toasting, right, to a wonderful career, 7 years.
Oh yeah,
there we are.
I'm glad you got
hear the
arms.
clink clink. We're cheersing to her. And so now, what are some of your favorite Kristen Wiig characters over the years?
The first time I noticed her, and I still enjoy it, is a skit called Morning Drive with her and Alec Baldwin, and they're like carpooling for the first time, and they unintentionally insult one another. You know, she's like, "I thought we were going to get some bonus checks." They're almost like make-believe, like Sasquatch. And Alec Baldwin's like, "I believe in Sasquatch." And it just goes back and forth. And that was the first time I was like, whoa.
Who is this?
Yeah, because she plays it so funny, but so real. And I recommend, you can find it online if you look for Morning Drive. But it's of course, like the opening skit with the sisters. I love that
Merrill
one.
sisters, sure.
Merrill sisters. What was it? Judy... The Just Kidding girl.
Just kidding.
I know I'm going for weird ones, but yeah, the Just Kidding.
No, that's the first time I saw that. I think that was right around the time of DVR, about five or 6 years ago, and I remember watching it and rewinding because I was just laughing so hard that I was missing stuff. So I'd want to rewind and go back and whenever they brought her back, I just enjoyed it tremendously. She's She was so great at that. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Just kidding. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just kidding. Just kidding.
And it's really hard to do, by the way. If you've ever tried to mimic it and tried to, you end up swallowing the words. And I don't know if from rehearsal or if she's done it just so many times. I read somewhere Lorne Michaels said that she was one of the few people that was ready to go from day one. She came in with characters that were ready for prime time.
Yeah.
And in the same breath, he mentioned, you know, the same as Aykroyd and Belushi showed up and was ready to go, only she has a lightness and a sweetness that those guys really didn't.
That's
right?
true.
They had a darkness, right? And she doesn't. She has, even her weirdo characters, I feel like, are never past the line of, you know, dark and kind of creepy. They're just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, she's fun.
Lindsay, what are some of your favorites?
Well, some of the ones we haven't mentioned so far, because they didn't recur, they're actually pretty new. But two that stuck out to me were Kali. Do you remember that weird? I have a clip. Where she Swedish newscaster.
So, Katy Perry.
Oh yes,
Yeah, with Katy Perry.
Yes,
I think
You have a
about
husband, correct? We have a clip.
I think about that all the time, and it was so
Yes,
weird.
yes.
I have a clip. That and a Weekend Update character that came just once, I think, the flirting expert.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are two
like
two
Seth.
favorites. And then Garth and Kat, which I'm
Yes.
surprised. I'm kind of surprised that didn't happen.
I
this
thought that
time.
might happen again. Sure. I'd be curious to see what they did in dress rehearsals. Which ones almost kind of made it.
We
as the
mentioned
big-
before
Yeah.
they've had a couple swan songs with Gilly
Gilly
and they
and
did
Penelope.
do Garth and Kat
That's
like
true.
an episode or two ago. They've been kind of filtering them in.
Yes. And I was surprised. Because they said that Gilly was retired last year. Because I think they did the last Penelope and Gilly in 2011. So. Yeah, really good stuff. We're going to go to commercial, and when we come back, we're going to talk about where does Kristen Wiig rank amongst the greatest performers of all time, if she does it all, and then also predictions for season 38.
Hey guys, what's happening? We are the America's Best Dance Crew ABDC After Show coming to you guys. We watch the show every week just like you, and we go every Friday to the set to interview and talk to the crews behind the scenes and let you know what is happening behind the scenes.
Hey everybody, we are AfterBuzz Mob Wives Edition, the only Mob Wives after show out there. I'm your host, Adrienne Vera, with my lovely co-hosts.
Kevin Undergaro.
Grant Rudder. Cameron Marston.
You guys can check us out every week. We have a lot of fun. We drink wine. We talk about the show. So check us out. We're also doing the Big Ann Show. So tune into that and Mob Wives Chicago.
Hey guys, what's happening? We are the Game of Thrones AfterBuzz crew. I'm Dave Klein.
Bethany Jaber. Kristen Elizabeth Snyder.
Simone Boyce.
And we come to you every single week live Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific time, for we are kings of the Game of Thrones after show. And we have one thing to say. Oh, Shadow Baby. Oh, Shadow Baby. Oh, Shadow Baby.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
And let us know what you want to buzz about after. Look us up. Tweet us at AfterBuzz TV, and let us know what you think, what you like, what you've. Go on iTunes, rate us, comment on us. Let us know what's been working for you and what hasn't. What you would like us to see.
We just want you to talk
Focus
to us.
on.
We're listening.
Yeah, we're lonely.
Yeah.
we need that human connection that only
Like what
electronics
are we
can
doing?
provide.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are any of us doing?
Yeah.
What is this?
What is
What is
this?
this?
What is this? Exactly.
this?
What is this? What is this?
That's a coaster.
Oh, that's a coaster. Okay.
What is this?
But what is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
You know?
let us know.
Yeah, we'd really like for you to reach out and touch us. So,
Yeah.
is Kristen Wiig the greatest female performer, if not the greatest performer on Saturday Night Live ever?
I'll say. I don't. Oh man, this could be.
Go ahead. Be controversial.
I'll
This is
say
the internet. Nothing.
easily,
No one can
female,
stop us.
She is my favorite by far.
Yes?
Because, I mean, you have Gilda Radner, you have Amy Poehler, you have Maya Rudolph. Like, all of them are really good. But for me, Kristen Wiig, and I don't want to pit it as far as, like, guy against girl. It's just that she made herself, like, the number one. She made herself, like, the number one character.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? She took over the entire show.
Yes.
She became like the Will Ferrell, or she was a utility player. I don't know. I think she is one of the top overall.
Yeah.
But definitely as far as female, I don't know. Whatever. She is like the top female. I can't think of one female, and that sounds like segregation. If I'm being an a-hole, I apologize. But she rivals Will Ferrell, and she has versatility. And even Phil Hartman, I think of, like, even though he wasn't as zany, he didn't have the zaniness that she has.
Right.
But she was able to fill in any skit, so, I mean, she's just like one of the top, like, period, in the top 3, I would say.
Lindsey?
I agree. I think she's just so goofy, and all of her characters are so different, and it's the voice and the body. She just kind of uses it all. And I was thinking on my way over here, like, the details, too. I think back, just this season, I think, was the thing with the artist, she played this sort of girl character, and they were doing that moment at the end,
right?
And she even had her shoulders kind of go up and down,
yes.
the way they do in the movie, in the trailer and whatever. And that was just such a good detail to catch, and I immediately sort of made the connection. So it's just little things like that that really kind of
drinking
put it
the
above
water out of the fountain at the very beginning,
right? I feel like she's very playful, and yeah, I agree. Were any of our characters particularly like cynical or dark? As you were saying?
No. Again, they're very light, and they're very. I think she, as I said, she's definitely not as iconic as, say, Wayne's World, and Mike Myers to me is kind of the ultimate Saturday Night Live guy, because he created so many kind of iconic characters. So I don't think she created as many characters like that. Like I said, I think the kind of measure is how many of them do we see at Halloween. Although the little hands, but she's definitely the strongest performer that's come in a long time. And as you said, she was always able to kind of elevate the material, so that even when it was weak, you could count on her to kind of really do stuff. When she played like Liza Minnelli, which wasn't like astounding, but you watched her and you were able to kind of keep watching her, even when the material didn't have you rolling around. You were just very excited to see what she would do next. Her shoulders, her face, her look, her wink, her the perfume commercial that they did where she's Trouble earlier this year. Red Flag, that's what it was. One of the all-time greats. So let's do some quick predictions as we sign off for this season 37.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
And are we? Do you do the lights too? Does that happen all the time? I've never noticed that. Or am I
moving on up?
Okay,
Let's get some.
I thought the acid was hitting. So yes, we had the lights kind of flicker in here, which is lovely detail. Thank you. This is very nice.
Yeah.
But so who do we think will be hosting the season premiere? And I know that that's a long way off. We're going to have a summertime of reruns and best of shows. Who do we see? If we could kind of think ahead, maybe to some movies or pop culture things that are happening in the fall.
Let's say some of these blockbuster, like, maybe Christian Bale or Robert Downey Jr., Andrew Garfield.
Yes.
Some of these superhero guys maybe popping in. That's what I'm throwing out there.
Lindsey?
I don't know about season premiere, but I think we'll get some Justin Bieber.
You think Bieber will finally?
I think as a host.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll follow the Timberlake route. And again, I don't know that season premiere, but at some point, I think we might see him do host and musical guest.
Okay. I just attended a special sneak preview of a movie that's coming out in December, directed by Tom Tykwer and the Wachowskis of Run Lola Run and The Matrix, respectively.
I got that email.
Cloud Atlas. It's called Cloud Atlas, and it's a pretty awesome film. So I'm predicting that Tom Hanks will be hosting the season premiere.
Yeah.
And I'll steal your idea. Justin Bieber is going to be the musical guest.
Ooh.
So let's
I will
see.
watch it. I'll tune in.
Yes. So everyone have a great summer.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time in the studio.
Miss you.
You can tweet me at Cinemario, Cinemario, and I'm going to be hosting a comedy show here in LA in Silver Lake, at a place called Naya on the 6th of June. So come check it out for a lot of comedy, a lot of special guests, some named guests that I can't mention just yet, but they're going to be there. You guys go ahead and plug your stuff.
I've been doing a lot of drinking lately and tweeting on occasion. Just find me at Graham High. Maybe since I'm not doing this, I'll actually be creative and do something. So just keep tuned. I'll be doing something.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Kinardl, Kinard I'm producing a short film festival in September here in LA. Yeah, so keep an eye out for that. I'll talk about it when we get to like the first episode or so, because it'll be closer.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Marissa in the booth, Phil and Kevin and Maria and everybody. Thanks so much for listening, guys. This season's been a blast. It was nice to meet new people, and we were once new people, and now the machine is finely tuned, and it's a lot of fun. So make sure you come back to us. Check us out on iTunes, shop on Amazon, buy some GameFly, and keep coming back here. AfterBuzz TV, your #1 source for after shows for every show imaginable. Reach out and touch someone. We love you very much. All that jazz. I don't know. I'm running out of cliches. Just touch
From
somebody.
Bing.com, executive producers
Touch somebody
Maria
this summer,
Menounos,
folks.
Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Hey, buzz you later.
Yeah, what's up, Buzz?
Buzz, buzz,
Herein,
buzz,
those owned only
buzz.
do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.